welcome back to NsomniaksDream. This video is the continuation and how to create a holly festive mask. So if you're interested on how to create the glitter gold and green and red eye that I have going on, that is just this video. I have no idea what side the cards go on. This side? I don't know, whatever. This video will be all of the embellishments around it and the holly and bringing it to life. So if you guys want to see how to do that, please keep watching, as well as please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the video and doing this style, because it is always amazing to hear your guys' feedback and what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So without further ado, let's jump into it and just get started.
So first thing I did was take my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. This is just a white cream pencil, and I used this to map out where I wanted everything to sit. You guys know I tend to love doing this for my looks. It just gives me a base that is very easy to wipe away if I'm not entirely sure where I want everything to sit, but lets me also visualize and see how it's going to kind of look once everything gets colored in. So it's just a nice little sketch outline, but you can always skip this step if you're confident to just jump right into it. Then to start basing out the berries and leaves, I just took these cream shadows and laid them down in the areas where I wanted all of the colors to sit. This just makes it so you have a little bit more of an opaque base for the shadows to go on top of, but you can use any cream product here, even a pencil would work just as well. The reason I'm using a cream base here over a face paint is because it gives a softer base that the shadows can more easily blend into. A face paint will work if that's what you have on hand. You might just have to do a little bit more blending work with the eyeshadows to create a gradient of colors. For the leaves on top of the green base, I took two green eyeshadows. These are both just from Sugarpill. One is kind of an acid green color and the other is a little bit more of a true green. And I just use these to apply to different areas of the leaves to create more dimension of that light and dark, as well as fill in any sections that the cream paint might not have fully covered. I stuck with keeping the darker green shadow to the outside of the leaves and trying to focus the lighter shadow towards the inside, but we are still going to layer more colors over top later, so this is just a nice base and does not have to be perfect. I of course also did this to all of the leaves around my face. I kind of just sped up this part because it becomes redundant pretty quickly since it is the exact same step for all of them, but just making sure to lay down as much of a base as you can and get that shading in so that you can move on to the next steps of making them pop more off the face. Then, through editing magic, I clearly jumped ahead, but this is just so I could kind of get an idea for myself of how I wanted them to actually look in the end. And then taking a dark green face paint, I use this to outline all of the leaves to give them much better definition, as well as make it so that when we start shading with the darker green shadow, they'll really have an edge to pop off of. And if you like the points of your holly leaves to be spiky like I do, a good trick is to kind of just flick the brush out whenever you reach the edges and then pull from there. Then, taking this dark green from my Perfect Filter palette, I went ahead and started really deepening the edges of the leaves. Looking at pictures of holly leaves, I found the center portions were often lighter, especially where the veining occurs, so I wanted to build up deep shading along all of the edges to offer better contrast to the interior of them. If you have a small stiff brush here, it will make your life a lot easier. A lip or smudger brush works well since the strong bristles allow you to press the color against the edge of the leaves and just feather inwards. And this way you have a much less chance of slipping outside of your dark green outline, and it maintains looking very clean and neat. I would also jump back to the Sugarpill green shadow every once in a while since I wanted a far more truer, rich green color in the center of the leaves as opposed to just the acid color I was kind of getting stuck with. You turn around, I feel the breeze over me. For the center veining of the leaves, I did take a water-activated face paint. This one is just from Wolfe and it is their light green shade. I used a very fine, small detail brush. This one is just an art liner brush, so anything like that will totally work. And just looking at reference pictures of how the veining tends to appear on holly leaves, I went ahead and just kind of sketched them in and flicked out my brush so that they would get softer towards the edges. If you want really soft veining that is even lighter than this, all you have to do is dilute the face paint with a little bit more water and you can create a very translucent veining on the leaves. I just wanted something a little bit brighter to kind of pop off the skin. Or another trick, if you don't want to mess with possible drips from more diluted face paint, you could lay down the veins the way I am here and then just go over the dried paint with a few of the shadows that were used on the leaves, and this will make it appear like it's kind of underneath those colors and they'll be a little bit softer. And then to better define the berries, since they are pretty fuzzy and muddied right now, I just took a red face paint and went all the way around them again with a soft liner brush. And then I also used this color to kind of fill them in a little bit and create an area where the shine on the berries would probably be sitting. And then for that shine, I absolutely could not resist going in with my white face paint and adding little shine to all of the berries individually. And then I also use this to actually add shine along all of the edges of the holly leaves. Not so much a realistic effect, but again, something that kind of helps it pop off the skin a little bit more. As well as a lot of holly leaves I looked at, whether fake or real, kind of have an actual waxy texture to them. So they do actually catch and reflect a lot of light. So it's not completely inaccurate to add a little bit more reflect to the edges of them and just make them stand out.
Yeah, I know it's the unknown.
And then this step is completely optional, but I did want to make the holly a little bit more 3D. So I took a contour shade and added a bit of shadow under the leaves where there would be if the holly was indeed sitting up off the skin. This again was a little bit more stylized, so I wasn't too careful about how realistic this looked. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit more dimension to the edges. And then as with the eye look, I kind of wanted to add a little bit of glitter that really only reflects when you move, so it's a little bit of more visual interest in person, maybe not so much on camera, but this was just creating little ribbons of glitter that came off of the different holly and berries. And this again would just catch the light if you were wandering around at a party. And then finally, I decided to change up my lip color for this look. Since it's a more dramatic look, I decided for a more dramatic lip. It just makes sense. I just used a bit of Exorcism from Kat Von D and made the look a little bit more festive. And then of course throwing on a green wig because I could not resist.
Alright, this is the finished look. As you can see, I threw on my wig. This is another Powder Room D wig that I ordered during the October sale that I probably shouldn't have spent money on, but no regrets. This is the final look. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully this was helpful to some of you in whatever projects you are working on and can give you some inspirations for the holiday season. I will list everything that I have used in the description box as always, so please check that out if you are curious about specific products. I definitely hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and all that really fun, annoying stuff that is incredibly helpful to me, but kind of annoying to you, but you're like, yeah. You know, I absolutely love and adore you guys, and I of course will see you next video. Thank you very much for watching. So until then, bye guys.
You make me feel like home. You turn around, I feel the breeze over me. You watch your dreams unfold.